how can you be right all the time? You can't. I don't know why you clicked this video. You can't be right all the time. I mean, how would you even pull that off? You know, I think back to a time when I was working in sales, and this client had come in that he was a walk-in. And the client comes in, and I go, have you spoken to anybody? And he goes, oh, I think I may have come in a while back and, you know, touch base with somebody, like look at some of the products here. And he goes, I go, okay, all right. Well, let me look in the computer and see if I could find who it is that you spoke with, to make sure that if that person puts you in. And so I go to the client's name, and there nothing pops up. In other words, nobody has spoken to this client. And so I say, okay, well, it looks like nothing's on record for you, so I'll go ahead and help you out. And when he finally decides, after an hour or two of seeing different products, he decides on what he wants. I say, hey, okay, you know, this is what you're going to get. I go to the manager. The manager says, yep, we can order him what he wants. We're in business. Everything's looking good. And then after the sale is done, this guy that I don't know if this guy didn't like me, or he had like a certain weird chip on his shoulder. I always got weird vibes from this guy. It was like a weird vibe thing. And well, after the sale's done, this guy says, hey, that was my guy. I spoke to him a while back. Okay. Again, mind you, the sale's already done. And so I get called into the office, and after the sale's done, and then he tells me, Jacob, you know, we're going to have to let you go because that you should have known better than that, and all this shit. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Again, the replay is, I told this guy, have you spoken to anyone? He says, I may have stopped by, but I don't think it was anything certain. Like he said, like, I stopped by, someone said hi, or, you know, whatever. In other words, the client was telling me it was a trivial, you know, pass through. Nothing was documented. Second part of the story is I go to the computer and verify that in fact nothing is on file for this client. And so I attend to him. The client chooses to work with me, and then the sale is made. After the sale is made, meaning not during this process, you know, the guy says, hey, that was my guy, talk to him. And then the manager gets mad at me for making the sale, and then he lets me go. How can you be right all the time? Personally, that to me is a clear example of every level of stupid. Because if we were working on commission, and my job is to tend to people that come in as quickly as possible, and the protocol is to check the database to see if anybody's spoken to this client, and the client says no, nothing. So there's all types of things I went through in my decision to go ahead and proceed with this client. In other words, and so I tell you that story because it's as if you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't sometimes. And at that moment, I was extremely angry. I was so pissed off that that could happen. Like, I couldn't even wrap my head around the stupidity of that. Like, I sincerely could not wrap my head around the stupidity of that. Like, and I went on blogs and stuff and talked about it, and you know, people that actually have been in sales and stuff, and everybody was like, that manager did something stupid. So all that said, and this was like a significant deal. Like, it was probably one of the biggest deals I'd ever, you know, been a part of. So in other words, there was no knowledge in my head, none, that this person who later said, hey, that cell was mine, was in fact involved. Like, that name had no reference point. The only thing left besides what I did, checking the database, would have been like going to every single salesperson there when there was plenty and said, hey, what was this yours? In other words, anyone could have said, yeah, it's mine. It makes sense. Like, there was nothing concrete at all. Not the client's description, not the client's insistence that he should talk to the person he already talked to, nothing in the database, nothing during the sale process that, hey, look, I see that you're talking to that guy. Hey, man, I know I didn't put... There was nothing. And to which I completed the sale. And so this goes to show me as a person that sometimes the objective is not really to establish true right or wrong. It isn't really the objective. Sometimes the objective is to just prove you wrong. The objective is to prove you wrong, not the overall arcing ethical, logical conclusion of wrong, but to prove you wrong. Or maybe you watching this want to prove someone wrong, and it's important that you do that with whatever little inkling of a fact you can get, even though the other facts outweigh your inkling of the fact. You want to take that inkling of a fact and overpower the overall facts. You been there before? As a matter of fact, I think truly, if someone said, hey, what is it that makes Christianity so difficult of a sell to people, or so difficult of a belief system, it's that Christians may not realize they do this, but it is a consistent thing that people get. Like, they read the Bible and they kind of get a lot of scripture. They get very empowered by what it does to their consciousness, their psyche, their overall understanding of life's mechanisms, the truth, the way, the production of fruit, all of these things. Like, they get the overarching truth in the Bible. The Bible does have very solid ways of living that if you were to abide by them, you're gonna have some level of harmony regardless of who you are. It's gonna improve some level of harmony in your life. It is a powerful book of knowledge, a living book, the Word of God, whatever you want to call it. That is true. What I'm saying is, sometimes people get the Bible and they empower themselves and their life improves, and then in that they go around kind of like listening to people speak and then hearing how it's wrong based on their reference of the Bible. Okay, what I'm saying is, let's say you've made it this far on the channel. It's like saying, hey, if you don't click the like button, you're jealous. You have too much pride to click the like button. And that's not biblical. That's a fall of men. Does that make sense? It's like a manipulative way of getting what a person speaking wants. And does that make any sense? It's like anything. And people don't realize, when you throw scripture at people, when you do that, people know what you did. Not everybody. Some people are like, oh shit, I feel bad. But some people that have really good sense of self, they're going to sense that you're coming into their consciousness. They're going to sense that little sharp needle of a penetration looking to penetrate their consciousness, plants a seed of doubt into them. However benign it's going to come across from the person speaking, because it's biblical, the person listening that is aware is going to be like, did you just try to use God to support what you want? Versus if I just tell you, hey, click the like button, share, that'd be I'm very grateful if you do that. Hey, go ahead and do that. That's awesome. Do you see the difference? Like, one is very easy to believe. The other one is questionable. It's very questionable as to what just happened there. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making some sense to you. My name is Jacob Adams. I'm a fitness and leadership coach. I help people just like you get to the next level in the gym by burning fat, building muscle, getting those personal records, dialing in on nutrition and supplementation. Here on YouTube, it's sharing perspectives that help you win and develop champion mindsets. I could have said that at the beginning. I opened a lot of my videos with that. So is this video wrong? Maybe I'm just trying something different. Maybe I want to see what the difference is between if I say it up ahead of time or I say it second. You know, and that is the struggle of being a human being, isn't it? I mean, I have to train somebody here in about 30 to 40 minutes and I'm making a video. Is that wrong of me? Should I have waited? Should I have waited for after the client to make this video? Maybe this video isn't going to be as good as it could be. Maybe it's wrong. You get it? And so in this consistent framework of wrong and not now and all this shit, like we miss an opportunity to take action. And oftentimes in today's modern world, the action forward has more value than an over-analysis, an analysis through paralysis of trying to be right all the time. In looking for our soulmate, for example, or the right one, or all this stuff, and we can sometimes bypass people that may have been great for us to hold hands or kiss or have great conversations, a great dance with, to enjoy life with, to empower us. And maybe in the name of trying to be right all the time and only talking to the right people, we also miss opportunities to potentially scare away these people that are maybe right, but there's no way really to 100% be like for certain that whatever it is you are doing or not doing is in fact right. And especially if you're right all the time, you cannot be right all the time. It's impossible. It literally is impossible to be right all the time. As a matter of fact, what you can definitely be is alive and in a state of doing, in a state of being. That you can be. Not everybody's a coach. Not everybody is a me, or not everybody is a you, or there's plastic surgeons out there. There's people that do Botox for a living. There's people that sell oranges. There's people that are just homemakers. They stay home and they just take care of the home. And I say the word just because I'll take that back. It's not just. It's a very important job. It's very important. I think that societal condition has led us to sort of say these words, and in that we buy it. We can sometimes buy it. Like, is this just a video? I've been working with some of my lighting, and this right here, I can see a little shadow right here, and this side is lighted better. Is that wrong? Is that wrong if this video isn't perfectly lit? I don't know. Maybe it'll be one of my best videos. Who cares? Who cares? The process of making the video is more important to me than the overarching attachment to it needing to produce some metric. I made one of my biggest, most powerful videos on Saturday, which is "You Are at War." That's one of the most important videos I've ever made. It's truly it's one of the ones I'm the proudest of. And it's like, it's probably the one before this one. It is the one before this one. And, you know, I love it. I fucking love that video. And some people could say, well, it didn't get a lot of hits or it didn't get a lot of views. And personally, even though it didn't, or it hasn't, I'm pretty excited about it, because if I could bare my fucking soul in front of a camera and not get that many views, that gives me permission to do a whole lot more. Because it lets me know that, think about it like this. If to me that took so much trust in an audience, it took so much expression of my soul, it took so much like harnessing of my truth, and it can be ignored. Well, to me, that tells me that the capacity for you is very big. What that tells me is that the capacity to which you process is tremendous. I'll give you an idea of what I mean by that. Let's just say if I hit a 315 deadlift for 11. I did that a few months ago, and I deadlift 315. And I walk away feeling fucking awesome. And I'm like, dude, that was the best. And then after me, people do 400 pounds and they do it for 15 times. And there's like 30 people that do it. 415 pounds, 30 times, right? 415 pound deadlift, and they do it 30 times. And there's like 30 people that do that after me. I'm going to say, well, shit. As hard as 315 for 11 was for me, and as proud as I am, that means there's plenty of room for growth. And the same thing is what I'm saying. If I'm really, truly proud of that video that I made on Saturday, and it's not getting as great reviews as I thought, and I bared my soul, again, I did my max in a way, I think that tells me that you can handle even more. That you can handle even more. That's very exciting. So while some people might say, oh, that video you made was wrong, or it needs this, or it's not that, I wouldn't have had this understanding if I didn't make it. Make sense? So even like, say you listening, you're still like, even though you got it, you still may not be like, I got it. I can say whatever I want. And the world is so grand that it will take my truth and it'll be totally cool with it. Let's say you get it intellectually, but you don't feel it emotionally. Well, my friend, I'm here to tell you the reason you feel that is because you're concerned with being right or wrong. Saying it wrong, saying it right, and you're concerned with that to some degree. But what I'm trying to tell you is you can't be right all the time anyway. So even if you're wrong sometimes, or wrong, it's still okay because it allows growth. So that wrong, if it came from a sincere place, it may be fine. Again, I think I'll add that word sincere. If your wrong was sincere, this wrong, if it really was a sincere movement forward, then it probably won't be wrong really. Like, I sincerely had no intention of taking that person's sale. Like, see what I'm saying? I had no intention at all. And I ended up getting punished for it. But here's the thing. You're like, well, Jacob, doesn't that mean your philosophy is wrong? No, because here I am making these videos that are more important to me than that sell. Like, this video, my growth, my ability to speak the truth in front of this video is more important to me than that sell. So what someone will say, well, the critic might say, well, but you got paid for that and you didn't get paid for this video. It's like, in that construct, I'm only selling a product. In this frame, I'm sharing my truth, my sincere and honest fucking truth. You understand? Like, this is like expansive truth. It's expanding. That is like, okay, well, you know, truck sold, another, you know, whatever. Like, whatever's being sold, it's out in the world, but it's going to have a limit to its impact. Anyways, something to think about. I'd say that it's time to get rid of the obsession with right or wrong and move into a state where action and goals are met, and that's the obsession. The obsession of hitting results, the obsession of hitting goals, the obsession of refining processes. That's more important these days than right or wrong. Right or wrong is an archaic type like obsession. It doesn't mean it doesn't have its place, like it's wrong to murder. Like, and then when the head of ISIS got taken out, people were somewhat relieved. So is all murder wrong all the time? To be blunt, there's some times where people are okay with it. He got killed. People are somewhat okay with it in large. Okay. See what I'm saying? Like, the obsession with right and wrong is an old construct. In today's society, it's more important to take action from a sincere place, refine processes, and dial in on your message. That's more important in today's world. To do that, look within yourself and speak. Love to hear your thoughts. Ignore me if you insist on being that. This is Jacob Adams. I'm out.